Hello everyone, welcome to yourfaculty.com, a premier test preparation portal for GRE, CAT and bank exams. So today we are going to deal with this topic, percentage. So before I start, I just would like to highlight that this is our Facebook page and this is our website. You can practice our tests in yourfaculty.com. There are a lot of practice tests, full length tests and assessments that you have placed there. You'll be able to find out your package and do practice there. Moving on to topic, what is percentage? This is a definition. I mean, you can find it in any book or if you just Google it, you will get it. So it is generally denoted by the symbol, and percentage is basically a ratio expressed in hundreds. So when you say that there is a number like 30 by 100, it means, or 30 out of 100, it means 30%. You say that your score in a unit test in your class was 40 out of 50 and you need to calculate your percentage. What do? You convert this 50, the base value, to 100. And how do you do that? You multiply numerator and denominator by 2 and you get 80 by 100, and that gives you the ratio of, that gives you the percentage as 80%. And ultimately it gives you a way to compare quantities. So if a student scores 40 out of 50 and another student scores 80 out of 100 or 85 out of 100, you have a means to say that this student scored 80% whereas this student scored 85%. So percentage helps you compare the values against certain other quantities of the past or of the same level. So that's the important. So you will find usage of percentage heavily in your country's GDP calculation, inflation, then of course your salary increase calculation that you might be doing, your performance, whether it is individual or company, your bank interest rates. So in bank you will generally see compound interest for a lot of their loan related calculations, and there is also simple interest that comes into account in certain deposits or bonds. So percentage as a concept will be very useful for you even during your entrance exams. Especially there will be problems on population in your data interpretation related problems, and then there will be questions on simple interest and compound interest and profit and loss. In all these areas you will see that percentage will play a major role. So I would request you to concentrate this chapter and so that you do well in your exams. So now that we are done with the definition, I'll just try to help you understand how it looks in a percentage. First of all, how a fraction gets converted into a percentage. So I explained in the previous slide. I'll just try to do it again here. Let's say John has 50 caps in his shop, and at the end of the day he has sold 20 caps out of that 50. So what is the percentage sale here? How do you calculate that? The calculation is pretty simple. He had 50 shops, so that is the total quantity, and he sold 20. So that was what? Just like your exam marks. The mark is for 100 and you scored 75 marks. Similarly, the caps that John had were 50 and he sold 20. And now to convert this into percentage, you need to multiply it by 100. So what happens? when you multiply it by 100, the whole value is converted to a ratio to the base of 100. So what happens is you get the final answer as, when you start cancelling, you get 40%. So this is what I explained in my previous slide in a different way, wherein I told you that 20 by 50, I want to convert the base to 100. So I multiply it by 2, I multiply it by 2. So you get 40 by 100. So rather than doing this kind of multiplying numerator and denominator with a factor, the easiest way would be to multiply it by the factor that should be the base. So in this case, I'll repeat it. Let's say the question is now changed to John has 30 caps and he's looking at selling. He sold 20 caps. And if I have to calculate the percentage sales, how do you do it? Same step, 20 by 30 into 100. So this makes the problem pretty simple, because what you do out here is you are cancelling this and this, and you get 2 by 3 into 100. And now here comes the important thing for your exams. Though you are given with calculator, it is important that you understand some of these key fractions. So before I try to solve this, let me try to put some numbers in place for you to understand, or for you to memorize before you take up an exam. This is not memorized as such. If you know the pattern, it will be very easy. So let me start with simple things, like if you are given half. If half is given and you asked to convert it into a percentage, what will be the value? So half into 100 is equal to 50. So if the fraction is half and you have to convert that into a percentage, it is basically 50%. Now if it is 1 by 3, if it has to be converted into a percentage, it is 33.33. How do you do that? 1 by 3 into 100 and 33.3. Now we can quickly derive it. 1 by 3, we can quickly say that is 33.33. Now if it is 2 by 3, it just means that it is 66.66%. What did I do? I just multiplied 1 by 3, 33.33 into 2. So which gave me the answer as 66.6. Now certain other fractions that you come across in your exam are 1 by 5. You will come across, don't waste your time doing using a calculator when you get it in the exam. It just means that it is 20%. How did you do that? So 20 into 5 is equal to 100. So this, if you remember this, all that you have to do is, if you get 1 by 5, it is 20%. Next, there are some complex ones also. Let's say one other thing that you keep getting is 1 by 7, which is 14.28%. Where these will be useful is when you know that a percentage of this sort is given and you are asked to calculate, you will know, you can quickly take this fraction into account and then do the math. That makes the whole problem easier. So other simpler ones would be 1 by 4 is equal to 25%, and which would mean 3 by 4 is equal to 75%. I hope you are understanding it. So now with this, we'll start working out certain problems that you come across in your exams. I'm first starting off with a simpler one. Now let's say $60 is what percentage of 120. So how do you do that? It's pretty simple here. 60 by 120 into 100. So what is the answer? 50%. Next, we will so any question of this sort, if it is given, all that you have to do is make them into a fraction and multiply it by 100. So let's try to look at another question. 33 is what percentage of 99? So how do you do that? 33 by 99 into 100. And what do you get? You get 33.33%. Am I right? Other kind of problems that you typically come across and which is very important with respect to percentages, the question would be like, there is a value x given and it is increased by y percentage, and you are asked to find out the final value of that expression. So how do you do that? Let's say the question says a salary of an individual was $2,000 in 2014 and it grew by 5% in 2015. So what is the new salary? So how do you do that? The first step is to understand the increase, the value that has gone up. So let's say in this case, how do you start it? We'll go by 2000 into 5 by 100. And what does this give us? This gives us 100. So his salary has gone up by $100. So what is the final value? What is the salary in 2015? So salary in 2015 would be 2000 plus 100 is equal to 2100. Now, what is the other way to look at the same problem? What we see here is, let's take the final expression that we used here. What we have done here is, we have written 2000 plus 2000 into 5 by 100. If I have to take out this 2000 to make an expression, so let's say salary in 2015 is equal to, what happens? It becomes 2000 1 plus 5 by 100. So I took 2000 out and this 2000 became 1 because 2000 is common here, and this 2000 into 5 by 100 became 2000 into 1 plus 5 by 100. Now this is what we call as an integrating factor. Now when a value grew by 5%, all that we have to do is we have to take the actual value and multiply it by 1 plus 5 by 100. And what is 1 plus 5 by 100? 2000 into 1 plus 0.05. Am I right? So what do you get here? We get 2000 into 1.05. So to simplify the whole concept, I'm going to write it over here. What you have done is, when there is an increase in value by certain percentage, all that you have to do is we multiply that x into 1 point that percentage value. Now let's take, for example, if the value has to go up by 20%. So what is the multiplying integrating factor? X into 1.20. Now the value has to go by 30%. What do? You do x into 1.30. The value has to go up by 5%. In that case, we have to do 1.05, just like how we are done out here. Now if I have to go away 10%, x into 1.10. So do you understand what I am trying to show here? Thanks for watching this video. You can follow us in our YouTube channel, Your Faculty channel, and you can also like us in our Facebook page and LinkedIn page. We also have our blogs where we share our quiz on a regular basis. You can also take quizzes there. So blog.yourfaculty.com. You can see our tests in www.yourfaculty.com. There are a lot of tests for each of these exams, bank exam or IBPS exam or GRE or CAT. You can try out over there. Thank you.